All right, here's a little quiz review for you guys. And we talked about this today in class already. So the number one on the quiz, I'll tell you exactly what's on the quiz on number one anyway. It says list the three undefined terms. If I could write that correctly. Undefined terms. We talked about this in class today, but I'm going to review it one more time. It's exactly this. So you write three undefined terms, and that would be point, line, and plane. That's number one. Everybody should get that. That's exactly what's on the quiz. I tell you to list three undefined terms. You write point, line, and plane, and you got number one right. Okay. Now, for number two, actually 2 and 3 deal with the same picture. We've done this in class before, and even when we did this in class, I think I told you guys that when we did it in class, I said this very picture will be on the quiz and the test as well. All right, so this will be the first time you see it as far as having to get it right. And let's see, we got one more. It goes like this. All right, these are lines, so I'll put the lines on the ends. Like this, like this, like this. And they give you some points. Let's just call this point where they intersect. Let's just call that point A. We'll call this B. Call this C right here. So that point where they intersect is C. We'll call this one D. And let's see, might as well call this one down here E. All right, so a picture's going to look just like this. I mean, almost identical to this, except I use different letters. All right, so I picked A, B, C, D, E, just so you wouldn't sit there and memorize what the answers were, okay? I want you to make sure you know how to do it. All right, so I'm going to ask you a couple points. So there's two words, and this is basically just a test to see if you know what these words mean. I'm going to ask you to find three collinear points. Remember, collinear are points that lie on the same line. So you're going to have three of them. You're going to have three parts to this answer. If you don't get all three correct, you won't get that problem right. And then the second thing I ask is, so number 3, I ask for 3 concurrent lines. So you got to know what these words mean. Remember when I talked about this in class, I said I wasn't going to give you a definition and you have to write down the definition. You're going to have to know what these words mean though, right? Put it into practice. That's what I'm trying to do here. So 3 collinear points. Collinear means the points that lie on the same line. So you got how many lines you got? You got 1, 2, 3, 4. So you got 4 lines. So where in this picture do you have 3 points right there? 3 points lying on the same line. Well, what about this line right here? Do you have 3 points? No, you only got A and B. That's 2. What about this line? Nope, B and E. What about this line going across like that? Nope, A and C. What about this diagonal line right here? Sure, you got 3 points, B, D, and C. And that's all you write. You just put B, put a comma because you're just listing 3 things, B, D, and C. All right? Again, the letters are going to be different, but it'll look just like this. All right? So those are your 3 collinear points. I'm practically giving this to you. 3 concurrent lines. All right, so lines. How do we mark a line? We mark a line with the little line symbol over top of it. So you must have that line symbol over top of it. 3 concurrent lines. What does it mean to be concurrent? Well, they're lines that all intersect at one common point. So 3 lines, and they all have to intersect. All 3 of those lines have to intersect at one common point. All right, what about these 2 lines right here? This up and down one and this one that goes across. Well, they intersect at this point, but there's not 3 lines. There's only 2 lines that intersect at this point. All right. What about this point right here? This diagonal line and this line up top here? Yeah, they all intersect here, but are there 3 lines that intersect at that point? No. Where is the only place where 3 lines intersect? Hopefully you see it. It's right here. This is where the lines intersect. So what 3 lines intersect at that point? Well, this up and down line intersects at that point. So what do we call that line? Call it line AB. Don't just write AB, write the line symbol over top of it since it asks for lines. So that's one line. So we got that one. What's another line that intersects this point? Well, this diagonal one right here. Right? What do I call that? You got 3 points on there, but you only need 2 of them. So I'm going to call it B C. You could call it BD if you wanted to. You could call it DC if you wanted to, right? But I'm going to call it BC. I'll just take the ones that are on the ends. So I'm going to call that line BC. All right, what's another line that intersects at this point? Okay, not the top one. I've had a lot of students do that. They put the top one on there. That top line right here, AC, does not intersect at this point. It doesn't come anywhere close to that point. What's the other line that intersects at that point? Well, this bottom one. And what do we call that? Line BE. So I'll put B and E. There you go. Just like that. Again, you're going to have different letters, but other than that, that's how you do it. Okay, let's keep going. I'm going to try to keep this as short as I can. 4 and 5, you got to draw pictures. All right, so 4, I give you something, and then 5, I give you something, and you have to draw the picture. So I'm not going to give you the exact thing that I ask, but I will make up one. So let's say I asked you to draw a picture that illustrates ray, I'll call it XY. It's not going to be this. I'll tell you right now. It's not going to be this, but I'm just giving you an example of what you need to do. All right, so it tells you, don't just put XY, all right, because I already put that in the problem. So, but I tell you to draw a picture that illustrates a ray XY. So you just draw a line. Doesn't matter if it's slanted or anything like that. So actually I shouldn't say draw a line, but you do draw a line and put arrow at one end, okay? Only at one end, because this is a what? This is a ray. Has an endpoint, and where's the endpoint? The endpoint always goes first. So where's the endpoint to this picture? So this is what you need to draw. You have to draw this ray. Draw that picture right there. That's a ray. And then you just have to label it. All right, it starts at X and it goes somewhere through Y. So you could put Y anywhere on that ray. It doesn't matter. You could put it super close to it. You could put it further away from it. You could put it right in the middle if you wanted to. Just somewhere on that ray, you put Y, and that illustrates ray XY. I could ask you to do a line XY. I could ask you to do a line segment XY. Okay, I could ask you to do several other things if I wanted to. All right, so make sure. I'm not going to even go through the rest of them. Okay, you need to know how to do each of these. Research it. Go back and watch one of my videos. Look in your notes. Look in the book. All right, figure out how to draw one of these. I only tell you to draw one of them. All right, but it'll be something very similar to this. All right, let's move on. This next one, I'm going to ask you to draw a plane. So what does a plane look like? Well, it doesn't look like a rectangle. Remember we said I'm going to do something here. Give me a second. There we go. So this is what a plane always looks like in geometry. Okay, when you draw a plane, we always slant it a little bit. Don't draw a rectangle, please. Don't just draw a square. Draw something that's slanted like this. I don't know how else I can tell you. All right, and I'm going to ask you just to do a couple things. I'm going to ask you something actually very, very easy. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to ask you to name the plane. So I'll say, call this plane S. All right, so let's just call it easy. Let's make it easy. Let's call it plane A, because a capital S and a lowercase s kind of looks the same. So a lowercase a and a capital A look completely different. So let's call this plane A. So you put it in one of the corners. It could be here, it could be here, here, or here. In one of the corners. Don't put it out here. Don't put it out here. All right? Put it in one of the corners. All right, so if it says draw plane A, that's how you would draw it. But I'm going to ask you a little bit more than that. I'm going to ask you to put something inside of the plane. So I could ask you to draw ray, I don't know, PQ. All right. So what if I wanted to draw a ray PQ in plane A? All right. Don't put it out here. That's outside of it. Don't put it right on here. Okay. Right on the edge is not in the plane or on the plane. All right, it's got to be inside of this area right in here. It's got to be somewhere in there. So what if I asked you to draw a picture of a ray inside of a plane? So let's call it ray AB for lack of illustration. Or not illustration, but creativity. All right, so that would be ray AB is on plane M. All right, I might ask that. or I might not. Okay, so let's see if I can, oops, let's click that. There we go. All right, I could ask you to draw a line. How would you draw a line in this plane? Well, you just draw a line like this, line AB. I'll keep with the AB theme. All right, so you put a point here, put a point here. That would be line AB in plane A. All right. I could ask you to do a line segment inside the plane. I could ask you to put a point in the plane. How would you put a point in the plane? Let's call it point B. All right, so we don't have A's all over the place. All right, that would be point B in plane A. There's a lot of different options I could give you with this. Just know how to deal with one of those options. All right, we're halfway done. Let's do number 6. Number 6, let's do this. Let's draw a line segment. Or not a line segment, but a whole line. All right, so I'm going to draw a line. This is given to you. All right, you don't have to draw this. This is already going to be given to you. And again, let's stick with the ABC. So we'll go A, this is B, this is C. And let's do one more way down here. That's D. All right, so number 6, I'm going to ask you, what's another way to name line AD? All right, there's line AD. Give me another way to name line AD. All right, well, you can choose any combination of any of these 4 that you want. Don't use AD because it's already named AD, okay? I said name another way to name line AD. So don't use AD because that'll be wrong, right? Look what you can use. You can use line AB. You can use line AC. And don't go DA, okay? By putting DA, that's not another way to name it. Don't use DA. I'm telling you right now, it's going to be wrong. I want you to use one of these other points. So you could go line AB, line AC. You could go line BC. You could go line BD, right? Those are all different ways that you can name it. So you pick, right? I'll have all the answers down, all the possibilities down. So you pick one. Let's just go AB. So AB would be another way to name that whole line AD. All right? You can use any combination of any of those letters. You could call it BA. It doesn't matter. You could call it CA. Don't call it DA because that's basically the same name as line AD. So don't use that one. All right, enough of that. All right, let's talk about ray. Let me think about this just a second. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Ray AB. Let's say ray AB. So they give you ray AB. What does that mean? It starts here and it keeps on going all the way through, right? Oops. It keeps on going all the way through B in one direction. So it starts here at A, and it keeps going in one direction through any of these points. So what's another name that I could call ray AB? Well, first of all, if it's going to be the same ray, it's got to have the same endpoint. So I have to have an A. I got to start with an A, right? The first thing. If this is the endpoint right here, then the endpoint of our new name of array, our different name of array, has got to start with A. Now look, it goes through B, which is already named AB, so don't rename it ray AB. Don't rename it ray BA. Ray BA is a completely different ray, so don't call it that. It's got to start at A, and it goes through B, which means it also goes through C, and it also goes through D. So I could call it ray AC, okay, and that would be good enough. I only asked for one. Or if you wanted to, you could call it ray AD. So all 3 of these rays, ray AB, AC, AD, are all the same exact ray, just different names. So they tell you this is the name of it, this is what they named it. What's another name? What's a different name that means the same exact ray? It would be either this one or this one. Do not switch the order on array because the A, the endpoint, always has to go first. All right, one last picture, but we got 3 questions, and we started talking about this today. Well, at least in my first geometry class, we started talking about it, but we ran out of time pretty quick. So let me just draw the picture for you. For you guys in the second geometry class, you didn't see this because we completely ran out of time. So let's do this, that. And you should recognize this because we did one just like this in class. If you look at some of the older YouTube videos of this section, I think it's section 1.4, go back to 1.4 and look at it, and you'll see exactly what we did here. And my guess is I probably told you guys, hey, see this thing right here? You're going to see this on a quiz. And here it is. We're going to see this on a quiz. All right, let's put some letters in here. I don't know, let's go a little different than the AB thing. Let's go P, Q, R, and S, and T, I think. Yep. R, S, and T. All right, so there you go. You got your picture. And it says, number 8 just says, state another name for one of these numbered angles. So let's just do all three of them. So what's another name for angle 1? Instead of calling it angle 1, what could I also call it? Well, remember, P is the vertex. That has to be your middle letter. So if I'm talking about this angle right here, I'm going Q, then P, then R. So one of my names could be angle Q, P, and R. If it just asks for another name, one other name, you're good to go right there. You could reverse it and call it RPQ. That would be fine. It's the same exact thing, right? But that's another name for it. Do not do this. Do not go QRP. Just because you have the same letters doesn't mean it's an angle, right? The P has to be the vertex. It's got to be in the middle. So every single one of these angles is going to have P right in the middle. So don't put it on the ends, all right? I've had kids do that. Don't do it. You don't do it. All right, here's another one. You need to know interior and exterior. This is pretty easy. So like number 9. By the way, let's do this. Because I might not ask for for angle 1. I might ask for another name for angle 2, another name for angle 3. So let's do that. Let's say angle 2, this one right here. What's another name for angle 2? Well, remember, P always has to go in the middle. So what other points make up angle 2? Well, from here to here to here. So it's going to be RPS, angle RPS. So there's angle R. Again, P has always got to be in the middle, and then S. That's another name. I'll just put an arrow. They don't really equal each other. It's just a different name for each of those angles. All right, angle RPS. Again, you could call it SPR if you wanted to. That'd be perfectly fine. Wouldn't be any issue with that. All right, angle 3. So angle 3. What's another name for angle 3? Well, what makes up angle 3? I'll put 3 little arcs there. What makes up angle 3? Well, the S, the P, and the T. Again, for the third, fourth time. The P's got to be in the middle, right? So it's going to be S, P, T. So put the angle symbol, angle, S, P, T. Do not just put SPT. Okay, do not do this. I've seen people do this. Even though they're asking for an angle, I've had people do this. That's not correct. It has to look like this. You got to put the angle symbol out in front of it. This is an angle, angle SPT. Again, you could go backwards. You could call it angle TPS, but that's the only options for angle 3. That's it. There's nothing else. Okay, the next two are pretty easy. Number 9 says name an interior point to one of the angles. So let's take angle, so interior, that means inside, an interior point of, let's do angle QPS, angle QPS. So give me an interior angle of QPS. Well, where is QPS? It goes from here, goes from Q to P to S. So this, should I shade it in? I don't make a mess of this. I'll do it anyway. All right. So all this, that's your angle right there. Give me a point that's inside of that angle. Well, I kind of drew over it, but if you look at it closely, there's one right there. That point is inside the angle. Don't say 1. 1's not a point. Don't say 2. 2's not a point. That's just another name for that angle. This is a point, and it's inside. It's in the interior of that angle. Don't use Q. Q is not in the interior. It's right on the angle. S is on the angle, but R is inside. Inside the angle. So what is your point, or what is your answer? it's just point R, all right? And that's how you write it. Don't put a dot in front of it. Don't put the word point in front of it, all right? Don't do that. Just put a capital R, and that's all you need. I give you blanks for these, so just put it in the blank, all right? And now I give you something else. Oh, I say exterior, all right? So number 10 just asks for the exterior point of a certain angle. Let's say, I don't know, RPT. I could do a couple different ways. Now, see, this is what I didn't want to do. Let's see if I can get rid of that. Scribble, that's scribble. All right, made a mess of this thing. Oops, don't want that. Let's try this. There we go. Let's get rid of that, get rid of this. We'll just clean it up since I've gone this far. If I could just grab what I want to grab here. There we go. All right, that looks a little better. And let's get rid of this circle. Okay, so what if I ask you to find an exterior point of angle, what did I say? RPT? Let's do that. RPT. So where is RPT? It goes from here to here to here. Give me an exterior. Exterior means it's outside the angle. Here, I'll do some shading again. A little ugly, but there's my angle right there. Give me a point, okay, and all this is included as well, all right? This is that whole RPT angle. Give me a point that's outside of it, exterior, okay, not in the shaded part. Well, there's only one point available, and that would be point Q. That's on the exterior of this angle. So how do you write your answer? You just write a Q, you circle it, and you're good to go. And you've got 100 out of or not 100, but you got 20 out of 20 if you would do what I just did. All right. Hopefully you're watching this video. I don't know if you are, but I told all the classes to watch the video, so I hope you did. All right. Good luck on the quiz. I hope you do well, and we'll see you tomorrow.